They say, my gosh, there's a lot of wealthy, like Chinese. They didn't say the word like Vietnamese, they say Chinese in San Francisco. Rosalina, can you help but cast somebody, And I said, sure, that sounds like fun. And I love the movie, by the way. I love Crazy Rich Asians. And, Chancho, he's from my area originally. And so I kind of came home, think about who I know, and all of that. And I said to myself, I go, oh my God, we have so many family that I know who are my clients. I said, but they're not going to do this because a lot of wealthy people don't want to open up their personal life. It's tough. But then I said, but then there are other families like they don't have anything to talk about. They're too boring. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I'm thinking, and out of the blue, I woke up like this, like the third, fourth night after, my phone call with, Lionsgate and everything. I thought about this guy that I know, that I've known him since he was 21 years old. I said, oh my God, he's crazy enough, like, to make this show very interesting, So I told my husband, and my husband kind of looked at me and go, oh my God, you just call it. So I called him, and he's not from the Bay Area. He's from Houston, right? Called him. I told him what's happening. The phone went kind of quiet at first. And he's like, you kidding, right? It's like, well, it's like, that sounds like really fun. But I do not know anything about the movie industry, the TV, the entertainment industry, or, and I explained to him more, talk over the next few days. And he goes, I want to give this a shot. This sounds like really amazing. And he said, you have to talk to my family, my wife, though, because they're not going to believe me. So I had to convince them. And I put him on a call with Peter Huntley, which is the casting director for the show. And Peter was kind of like fell in love like instantly with them. It was almost like it was meant to be, because he's like, his character, he just have that thing about him that, you can tell it's like he'll be perfect in front of a camera. But it wasn't just that. The whole history about, like the family is basically the names itself. The parents named, the children after American presidents.
That's a
who does
story. Yeah, who does that? Yeah.
Right? So it was like, again, it was just meant to be. So yeah, so we pretty much like, they did the interview through what do you call it? It wasn't Zoom. What was the other one?
Skype.
Skype. There you go. Oh my God, Skype sounds like it's forever. Like, right?
Ago, yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's like they did a Skype thing, and then they did a sizzle, and they showed it to Lionsgate. It was like, we loved it.
Sizzle?
Peter did the sizzle.
Okay, Peter flew a crew out to do the sizzle with the family.
No, the sizzle was just chosen. It was like they did like clips of things, video that the family sent them. It wasn't even like, flying out there. Quick 4 or 5 minute sizzle, so Lionsgate can see. They loved it, and then after that, a lot of talk, and it was funny because the person who started this whole project was Jennifer O'Connell. She was the head of television division at Lionsgate, and she loved it. And then it kind of moved forward. But through the whole negotiation, Jen got contact by Warner. They wanted to bring her over to Warner, hired her to become, to run this new streaming, which is now, the HBO Max. And after like a few interviews, she decided to take the job, but she also decided like, I'm going to take this with me
Project. Wow.
project because she loved it. And, they hired a company and, that would shoot the pilot. So they asked me to help with the pilot. So we flew to Houston. So I was there the week before, kind of work with the family, staging, fix everything up, come up with the storyline. And basically, what are we going to film about for the pilot?
Pilot.
And it just happened with timing. It was Washington and his wife's Leslie's birthday month. So the whole thing was based on, like how they planned the birthday, how he surprised her with the birthday. They born like a week apart. And also one of the things that I wanted to make sure that production knows that I want to talk a lot about Vietnamese tradition. Not many people do that, like there's all these shows that talk about, like fun, partying, whatever. But I say, yeah, let's talk about a little bit of tradition because, the parents are involved as well. So yes, that's what we did. We filmed it by showing, like the New Year's, the holidays, how we celebrate that, right? How we celebrate it, like there's a lot of things I want to involve. So, but we did the birthday, and like the family, gathering in the weekend, kind of thing. So it's really interesting.
How
and of course,
how difficult was it to convince the parents?
it was really funny because Washington's like, my parents would not believe me, Rosalina. I've known him forever. He's one of those, guy who is like, always do something, like parents go, what the hell are you doing? But it was funny because in one of the episodes, I forgot one or two, he even told his cousin in the episode, he goes like, yeah, I met this, I married my wife because when I met her, she's the first Vietnamese girl that I, go out. I never date Vietnamese. And then I brought her home to meet my parents and my mom. After the first time meeting her, she said, if you marry her, I forgive you for all of the BS that you pulled through the episode. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, so I believe it when he said that my parents are not going to do this. Is they're not going to believe me. It's like, what kind of thing are you pulling right now? So anyway, so I did go over there. I basically flew over. He flew me over, and what's more funny is he didn't tell him that I was coming.
Oh shit! Wow! Wow!
He said that it was his daughter's birthday, Lincoln, and they were having a party, and I flew in. I stay at the St. Regis right around the corner. I went over. They had no idea why I was there. See what I'm saying?
God, wow.
And then, of course, like, first time meeting his wife too. Never met his wife. And so I said, I'm Rosalina. I'm walking around the house. I came over and she had no idea who I was. And then I said, this is Rosalina, one of Washington's like really good friends. Of course, she heard of me. So she's like, oh my God. It's like, and she's wondering what the hell I'm doing there.
Yeah.
It's really fun. So then it came out. Then I saw the parents. And then we finally sat down and I told them, I said, you know what? I wanted to do this show. Told Washington, he asked me to talk to the family, had a whole family discussion. And I said, I will help you guys through this, because they all know, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know, the business, anything. I said, I will stay by you and I will just help you, and anything you don't want to do, you don't have to do.
Right.
We negotiate contract and all of that. And I say, good thing it's going to be the first Vietnamese reality show ever. This is like we're making history.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one thing. And I say, I want to talk about our culture too. Vietnamese is like, we have grown so much. We have done so much in the United States, and we need to show that. So they agreed. Parents
What
gave
what kind
the
of
approval.
what kind of questions did they have for you? I mean, they must have been like, this can't be real, or, no, we're not into that kind of sort of showing our family, on the inside. I mean, did they give any pushback to you?
Of course, I mean, it wasn't quite pushed back, but it was like basically they asked me questions like, so what do we have to say? They never, be in front of the camera before. How do we act? I said, just be your normal self. You don't have to act. It's reality. You're
Yeah.
not actors. You just regular people. And of course they asked like, Leslie's working. She's has a job, right? Day job. She work at home, but still. They said, how long does it take? And why should we do this? Um, and it all came down to, it was Washington. Washington really wanted to do this. He wanted to do this. I think it's a point of his life where he just wanted to do something different. And he said, it's my calling. This is it. This is like what I love.
Wow.
You've seen the show, right?
Yes, I have.
So,
The entire show. Yeah.
oh, he's very good. I mean, he doesn't have to do anything. It's
Yeah.
him. What you see, it's just him. It's his personality, and he's a natural. He's just funny in front of the camera, and he wanted to do this something different, and we all knew that. Even parents knew that. The whole family, when it came down to, they agreed to do this because they wanted to do it for Washington.